Hello and welcome to an art time-lapse video. In this video I'll be drawing an entry for the Paper Demon art RPG for their thing they call portals, where your character travels to a different world and experiences something and you're supposed to draw them experiencing it. So in this drawing, my character Vivi, or Vivitsa, she is exploring the world called Avangard, which is a world in the skies, so there's a lot of airships and clouds and stuff like that. So unfortunately I had to draw a ship of some kind, and I really struggled with it at first. But I do get it in the end, and I think it turned out okay. But I did cover up a lot of it with clouds, because I'm not very confident in my ship drawing skills. Unfortunately, the ship is kind of like one of the main pieces of the artwork, so I had to make it look really good so that it didn't detract from the rest of the artwork. So here's my ant character, and thinking about it, I decided that the world of Avangard is probably very cold. And it's probably, like, the air is probably very thin. So it's pretty unhospitable, or inhospitable, I should say, for my ant character, because insects are cold-blooded, and so she probably had a hard time staying warm. So I drew her wearing a scarf and a sweater to try to keep warm. But it's probably also very breezy or windy. So I think it's probably very hard to stay warm there. So I imagine she was very uncomfortable, and probably not a good first impression for her first portal that she went through. But she'll keep adventuring. There's many other portals to draw. Well, not many, but there's a few. There's the mushroom one, and the flower one, and now there's a new one that just came out where it's like a planet that has stopped rotating, so it's like perpetually night on one side and perpetually day on the other. And there's like civilization in, they call it the Twilight Ring or something, where it's kinda night, kinda day, but it's like actually livable there, which is pretty cool. It's like a sci-fi kind of world, which I like, that there's like a lot of different kinds of worlds. There's kind of the steampunk airship one that I'm doing now, Avangard. And then there's the Eventide, I think it's called. Eventide is the Twilight Ring one. And that's like sci-fi, so it's cool that there's different genres that they're exploring. I'm always curious to see what they're gonna come up with next. Some of the portals, they close after a while, like you're not allowed to like participate in the prompts anymore unless if you have a certain item. Like you have to buy it from the store. And then you can go back in time basically and redo the prompts that you missed out on. Like there's one I'm curious about doing. It's called the City of Lost Songs, I think. Something like that. It's like a mermaid kind of thing, where it was open for a short time in May for the mermaid thing that goes on every year. But what I want to do for it is like some of the prompts are to draw your character as a mermaid, exploring the underwater areas and stuff. But since my character, she's an insect, I thought it would be cool to have her, instead of like a fish tail, she would have a shrimp tail. And I thought that would be a cool idea. So maybe one day I'll do that after I get all these current portals done. I feel like I forgot to mention a portal. Like maybe there's one that I'm not too excited to do that I'm forgetting. But I'm excited to do the flower one. I think it's called like Castamaria or something. And I'm excited to do it because I think Vivitsa will really like it, because the inhabitants are described as having butterfly-like faces. So I think Vivitsa would be like excited to see another insect being, or another insect-like being, because they're not, I don't think they are insects. I think they just have the butterfly-like faces. So I'm looking forward to drawing them and drawing Vivitsa, interacting with them. I was inspired by a sunset that I saw today, or Saturday, because I really like sunsets a lot. I think they're very beautiful. I also like sunrises too, but I think sunsets are prettier in my opinion. But I really like it when they're all different colors, like the oranges and the pinks and the purples. So I was inspired today because I went out on a drive and I saw the sky and it was pink and purple, or pink and blue I mean, and so I drew. I decided that would be a good color to use for my drawing I was working on at home. I wasn't sure what colors to use for these airships. That's why one of them just ended up as a white, because I was like, I don't really care, I'm gonna change it later anyway. In order to kind of get like the atmosphere on this ship and all the other stuff, I didn't use a multiply layer to shade like I usually do. I just painted right on the flat colors. Speaking of painting, I'm kind of dabbling into digital painting. I'm trying to learn how to do like realistic rendering. I think I mentioned that in my last video. I don't remember, but I'm trying to make like a more appealing art style that, because for some reason I really feel like my art style isn't very, I don't know, good. I like it personally, but I don't think it's very appealing to like people who want to buy art, like companies or commissioners. I just feel like mine isn't very desirable. I don't think it's bad, but I just don't think it's what people are looking for. And if I want to be like a professional artist, I kind of want to work on my style and be able to appeal to the most people I can. And I'm not just doing it because I want to appeal to people, but because I don't think anybody should just do things to appeal to other people, but I really like realistic rendering, or maybe not realistic, but like I really like painterly styles and stuff like that, and I'd love to learn how to do that. If you follow my Paper Demon, which you probably don't, but if you did, if you give it a visit, you'll see I drew a headshot, or not drew it, but I painted it. I painted a headshot of my Draco Strix Rocky, who's been featured in like all my other videos pretty much. But I really like the way it turned out, though it doesn't have much shading. I just kind of played around with mixing the colors and stuff and trying to get the texture of the feathers right. But I like it. It's a good first attempt in my opinion, and I'll try to be working on that more soon. So stay tuned. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.